I couldn't believe my eyes. As Zephyr and I soared through the night sky, the town of Glimmerbrook shrinking below us, I felt a strange mixture of fear and exhilaration. The spaceship's interior hummed with energy, its glowing symbols casting an otherworldly light. Zephyr's slender fingers danced over the control panel, piloting the ship with practiced ease. "Where are we going?" I asked, trying to steady my voice. "To a safe place," Zephyr replied, not taking his eyes off the screen. "We need to hide until we can figure out our next move." We flew in silence for what felt like hours. The spaceship's soft hum was the only sound, punctuated by occasional beeps and clicks from the control panel. I watched as the stars outside the window streaked past, a mesmerizing display of cosmic beauty. Finally, Zephyr spoke. "We're approaching our destination." The ship descended, and through the window, I saw a dense forest below. Zephyr guided the ship into a hidden clearing, shielded from prying eyes by towering trees. The ship touched down with a gentle thud, and Zephyr powered down the engines. "We're here," Zephyr said, standing up. "Follow me." I nodded, my heart racing. As we stepped out of the ship, the cool night air greeted us. The forest was alive with the sounds of nocturnal creatures, but there was an eerie stillness in the clearing. "Where exactly are we?" I asked, glancing around. "This is an old refuge," Zephyr explained. "A place where I can repair the ship and we can remain hidden." We walked towards a small, inconspicuous structure, camouflaged by the surrounding foliage. Zephyr pressed a sequence of buttons on a hidden panel, and the door slid open with a soft hiss. Inside, the hideaway was surprisingly spacious, filled with various alien technologies and supplies. "Make yourself comfortable," Zephyr said, motioning to a corner with a few cushioned seats. "I need to run some diagnostics on the ship." As Zephyr busied himself with his tasks, I took a seat, my mind buzzing with questions. The events of the past few days felt like a whirlwind, and I was struggling to keep up. After a while, Zephyr joined me. "The ship will need some time to recharge. In the meantime, we should talk." I nodded, leaning forward. "You mentioned a lost traveler. Someone you're looking for. Can you tell me more about them?" Zephyr's eyes softened. "Yes, the traveler's name is Arya. She was a scientist, like me, and disappeared during a mission many years ago. We've been searching for her ever since." "Do you think she's on Earth?" I asked, intrigued. "It's a possibility," Zephyr replied. "Our sensors picked up traces of her energy signature here. That's why I was sent to investigate." I thought about this for a moment. "So, how do we find her?" Zephyr sighed. "It won't be easy. Arya could be anywhere, and we need to proceed with caution. We can't risk drawing attention." We fell into a contemplative silence. The weight of the situation was sinking in, and I realized just how important this mission was. Helping Zephyr meant more than just repairing a ship. It meant potentially reuniting them with a long-lost friend. "Jason," Zephyr said suddenly, breaking the silence, "I need to teach you more about our technology. It will be crucial for our success." Over the next few days, Zephyr and I spent hours in the hideaway, going over every detail of their technology. I learned about the ship's systems, the alien symbols, and even some basic repairs. Zephyr was a patient teacher, and I found myself becoming more and more fascinated by their world. One evening, as we were working on a particularly tricky piece of equipment, Zephyr paused and looked at me. "Jason, I've been meaning to ask, why did you help me that night in the woods?" I thought about it for a moment. I guess I was curious. And once I realized you needed help, I couldn't just walk away. Zephyr smiled, a rare but genuine expression. "I'm glad you did. You've been A great help. Before I could respond, a loud beeping sound filled the refuge. Zephyr's expression turned serious, and they rushed to the control panel. "What's happening?" I asked, anxiety creeping into my voice. "We have an intruder," Zephyr said, eyes fixed on the screen. "Someone's approaching the refuge." My heart raced. "What do we do?" "We need to hide," Zephyr said, grabbing my arm quickly. We hurried to a small, hidden compartment at the back of the refuge. Zephyr activated a cloaking device, and the compartment walls shimmered, blending seamlessly with the surroundings. We crouched inside, holding our breath. Through a small gap, I watched as the door to the hideaway slid open. A figure stepped inside, dressed in dark clothing and carrying a device that emitted a faint green light. They moved with a purposeful grace, scanning the room. "Who is that?" I whispered. "An agent," Zephyr replied, his voice barely audible. "They are looking for us." The agent moved methodically, checking every corner of the refuge. I felt a bead of sweat trickle down my forehead, the tension unbearable. Just as the agent approached our hiding spot, their device beeped, and they turned away, heading towards the ship. We waited until the agent was out of sight before Zephyr deactivated the cloaking device. We emerged from the compartment, my legs shaking with relief. "That was close," I said, my voice unsteady. "Too close," Zephyr agreed. "We need to be more careful. They'll be back." We spent the next few hours reinforcing our defenses and making sure the hideaway was secure. Zephyr's urgency was plain to see, and I realized just how dangerous our situation had become. As the night wore on, I couldn't shake the feeling of impending danger. We were on a mission to find Arya, but we were also being hunted. The stakes were higher than ever, and I knew I had to be ready for whatever came next. "Zephyr," I said as we finished our preparations, "what if we can't find Arya? What if something happens to us?" Zephyr looked at me, his expression resolute. "We can't think like that, Jason. We have to stay focused and believe in our mission. Together, we can overcome any obstacle." I nodded, taking strength from his determination. "You're right. We'll find her, no matter what." As we settled in for the night, I felt a newfound sense of purpose. The journey ahead was uncertain, but I knew one thing for sure: I wasn't alone. With Zephyr by my side, I was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead.